So welcome to my second video in this series of horror films of October leading up to Halloween. Best time of the year. I said it now and I'll keep on saying it because it's so true. So I want to go back to a film from 2003, which is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, let's start with the obvious thing that I did like about this movie. I thought Jessica Biel was, well, it's Jessica Biel, right? I mean, what more can you say? She's absolutely, well, an incredible delight on the screen. She looks fantastic in jeans and a vest. What more do you need? And I know there was a big uproar about her being cast in this film because she was the Disney kid that was all sweet and saccharine. Then she wanted to appear in an R-rated movie. And I say, good for her. Because when you first see her character, it's like she doesn't really kind of deliver a performance in like the first quarter of the movie. She's not convincing me she's a really good actress. But as the film develops and gets on, she gets a lot better. And it kind of proves the thing that I've always said, that an actor, you can get a bad actor, but if you give them a fantastic director and a producer and a writer, they will deliver a very good performance. It happens. Then you had Eric Balfour, who's appeared in the Buffy show. He's kind of got this really unusual face where, it would scare the bejesus out of anybody, but, and he was in Haven as well with Emily Rose. Jonathan Tucker, now that guy's got like the thickest neck in Hollywood, and he's the guy, he's the dude there with the glasses behind Jessica Biel. So yeah, you see him in this film, you just will not know that is the same guy who appeared in American Gods much later on in his career. But the problem I have with this movie, right, is like it's made in 2003, but they've set it in 1973, and I think that was a big mistake to set it back in the 70s. What they should have done was to set the film in its current timeline, 2003. I think that would have made for a much more interesting movie. I guess The Hills Have Eyes kind of treaded that territory. The remake, I think, from 2005, which I think was a really good film anyway. Yeah, because the original Hills Have Eyes, which is very laughable anyway, was set in the 70s. So they did the right thing by setting it in modern day, and that's what they should have done with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But because the reason why I say that, you got Lee Ermey. Remember that terrifying drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket?
I got your name. I got your ass. You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you.
He appears in this film, and I tell you what, man, can you imagine being at his funeral and you're reading out the eulogy, and it's like, Lee, we're gonna miss you, man, but that scene where you try to make out with a female cadaver in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah, that wasn't one of your finest moments, dude. And it's not. It's like, why would you sign up to play a part of a corrupt sheriff who has this thing for cadavers? I don't understand that. I just sat there thinking, I don't like this. This is just very, very weird. If it was meant to elicit laughs, it didn't get any of that from me, not for sure. I was cringing the whole time. Maybe that was the effect the director was going for. I don't know. So, the thing that I like about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a lot of it was implied violence. You never really saw anything with a chainsaw. But this movie, it's got carte blanche to do what it wants now, and it certainly does. You do see some horrific kills. One or two of them are like pretty nasty. I mean, honestly, look, I don't know about chainsaw physics and the actual damage it does to you, but seriously, that thing connects with you, you're pretty much dead, or you're going to be gushing out a lot of blood. But a lot of the times, these guys get killed in ways that they don't die straight away, and they're just kind of hung up on a meat hook for the pleasure of maybe the audience or Leatherface himself. And Leatherface in this film, I didn't really find him that terrifying. I think he's a lot more terrifying in the Mortal Kombat games. He's a lot more of a badass in that one. And, Gunnar Hansen, who plays him, in the original movie, I thought that version is a lot more like, oh yeah, Not only is this guy unhinged, you know, this guy grew up with a lot of problems as a kid. So I kind of get that with him. Now, the story of this film, you know, you got the 5 attractive people behind me. They're on their way to see a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and they encounter this girl who's just wandering the road, and she's kind of mumbling stuff or what have you. And then, you know, anybody in their right mind would carry on driving because you're in unknown, uncharted territory, but no. They were trying to help the girl, they bring her back into the car, then she blows her own brains out in the back seat, and that's where the police kind of swarm in on them. And then all of a sudden now you find out the police are in cahoots with the killers, with the chainsaws. It's kind of nuts. If you haven't seen this film before, I suggest you watch it. Maybe watch it for the reasons I suggested you should watch it for. Again, Jessica Biel.
That's not your baby. You stole her!
What more can I say? She's a delight, and she's awesome, man. I still love her as Whistler's daughter in the third Blade film. She's just a kick-ass in that movie. But folks, if you enjoyed this review today, do me one favor. Give it a like. You do that for me, you're my best friend. You know, we can hang out, we can do fist bumps all day long. And failing that, maybe subscribe, and I will see you on my next video, review, reaction, whatever.